My name is Tommy Green. I live here in Salt Lake City with my wife Chrissy and my 4 kids. And I was part of a metal band that would tour around, and because of that I started a YouTube channel in my kitchen just to stay connected with our fan base and connect with people. And at the end of these YouTube videos I would just say, if you need encouragement, if you need anything, if you need help, you just want someone to talk to, if you just have a need, feel free to email me, and I leave my email address. And in the fall of 2015, I got an email from a young teenage kid from France, and she was in what seemed like the beginning stages of a pretty bad situation in her home. And I wasn't sure if it was real or not, so I had my wife and my administrative assistant. I said, "Can you please reach out to this person? I don't tell me if this is real, if this seems real to you." And unfortunately, it was. And so we actually ended up helping to get them taken from that spot, and they ended up at kind of like a youth center. And shortly after if you guys will remember, like the Paris bombing, shortly after that, one of the members of her family came to the organization that she was staying at and took her out, kidnapped her out of that organization and trafficked her to Paris. And she was found some days later by the authorities. They were able to track the people that came to the organization. They found her and took her and I want to say 15 other girls out of this brothel in the Paris area. And it was so outlandish and unreal that my wife and I both were like, I can't believe that this is happening. But our hearts really bonded with this kid. We really had a deep sense of love and appreciation for her, and we just couldn't believe that it was happening. And so I went as far as we really began talking with the organization, is there any way we could maybe even adopt this girl? She was as old as my oldest daughter at the time. Marin was 15 and a half or nearly 16. They were the same age, and I just couldn't believe that someone like my daughter was going through this stuff. And so we really wanted to be a part of her life. We wanted her to know that she could feel love even in the midst of this stuff. And unfortunately, just because she went through a period of such crazy sexual abuse, her body got really sick, and she passed away in 2016. And it spun us for a loop, because we're here in Utah, I'm in Salt Lake City. I couldn't believe that even though we were sort of separated by continents, that we were being impacted by this person's story, that without us paying attention, she would have just been lost, and forgotten, and that's it. And that happens a lot. And so before she passed away, I remember telling her, even though it cost her so much, that she had set more people free in 15 years than some people will their whole life. And she told me, I know that I was loved, and I know that I have a family. And she said, "Tommy, you have to keep sharing, because there's many more like me." And I really didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know where to put that. And so after she passed away, my wife and I, we shared it with some of our close friends and family, and people grieved with us a little bit, but it was so crazy. It was like a movie. It was so unreal that it had happened that we really didn't know what to do with it. And that was towards the fall of 2016. So it's now, May 2018. It's been a while. And about 8 or 9 months ago, like I said, I have 4 kids, and I'm trying to keep it hot. I want to be a hot dad for my wifey and me. And I was on a jog on the Jordan River Trail, and just trying to get into running again. This is probably December of 2017, just running. And I remember feeling almost this thing come up in me. I have some amazing friends that have done really good work and all over the world. And so I know people that have done incredible things, but I usually think it's their story. And so I'm jogging, and it was as if there was these waves of inspiration that just hit. And it was, I'm going to run across the state of Utah. I'm going to tell this kid's story. We're going to write it down in a book. It's going to become a bestseller. we're going to rescue a bunch of kids. And I started crying, and I came home and I walked in and told my beautiful wife, Chrissy, I said, I think this is something that I can do. And that sort of led into this insane journey of me thinking, I'm going to run from the top of Utah to the bottom of Utah, and I'm going to talk about this issue of human trafficking and the fact that there's very real people that are not in movies that are going through this crazy suffering. And if people don't stop and pay attention, if they don't share love and compassion, if they don't pay attention to these things and care, these kids are going to be lost. And so that began like this journey for me of, I'm going to run 430 miles. I'm going to run apparently it's like 14 days of about a marathon or more a day. And I've never done that before, but I love running, and I think I'm going to go through a hard thing because these kids have gone through such a hard thing. And I want people to understand that beauty maybe in the midst of the suffering, and I want to open people's hearts. So what's ended up happening is my wife has been contacted, and she's actually she's begun writing a memoir, the story of what we've gone through, and we're hoping that this will help put a face and a name to this practice that's happening all over the world, happening in America, happening in Europe, happening in Asia, happening all over the place, that human trafficking is a real issue. And so Chrissy's doing this beautiful creative work and sharing the story, and I was just going to run, and it was almost like just going to be a publicity stunt for Chrissy's project. I just wanted people to pay attention to this story and didn't know how else to maybe call the nation to pay attention. Look at this. Like, do you guys know this is happening? I didn't know it was real like this until it invaded my world. And so that was all it was. And then about a month ago, I was in San Jose at an event, and Chrissy hit me up and said, "Did you get that email?" And I said, "No, what email?" She said, "Look in your phone." And I opened it up, and one of the other girls that was taken out of that brothel emailed Chrissy and I and said, "About a year and a half ago, this precious girl gave me your email addresses when she helped us get rescued from a bar in Paris. She said if I was ever in trouble that I could call her mom," meaning Chrissy. And so we decided to take this a lot more serious when that happened. And so outside of just thinking this was a creative project and a publicity stunt, something happened when we began to contact this other survivor that knew this precious person that our hearts just really loved, and to find out more of her story and the depth of what had gone on was deeply insightful, powerful, beautiful, and tragic all at the same time. And so we decided that what initially was just going to be a run across the state to try to get Utah to stand up, we actually launched a nonprofit, and we just have filed it, and we're just like a month into this journey, but our nonprofit is called Run Against Traffic. And so our first huge event is going to be your boy here running from the top of Utah to the bottom of Utah. And my goal is to raise a significant amount of money, not just to help aid the rescue and rehabilitation of some of these people, and to provide resources for individuals and organizations that are actually directly helping these people. But the real thing that I think would actually be a long-term project for our organization is to actually create a bunch of road races, 5Ks and 10Ks and marathons, and utilize this transformative thing of running and what it can mean for people. If you've ever done training for a run, it'll change your life. And so I know people are really looking for an opportunity to be transformed in their own personal story. But I also think that I have a mentor that says cause creates community. And so I'm hoping that this cause of human trafficking and these running events will create community resource and people that are willing to be a hero for someone else, to be selfless and to serve someone else's story, to help someone else come out of something. And so our goal, my goal by the end of October is to have run from the top of Utah to the bottom of Utah to raise like hundreds of thousands of dollars to provide resource for these other organizations, and also as almost like the beginning stages of what will be our budget for our first handful of races in the Salt Lake area, in Utah, and hopefully in other states where human trafficking resonates with the people of those communities, and they want to do this as well. So welcome to the birth of Run Against Traffic. I would love and appreciate your support, and I'm wanted to let everybody know, like, there will be more of these kind of video updates that are coming, and I will be doing my best to update you guys even live on the run. We're about 22 weeks away from my run against traffic, which will go from the top of Utah to the bottom of Utah, starting at the Utah-Idaho border and ending in St. George, Utah in October. So welcome to Run Against Traffic, and I look forward to suffer camp that I'm going to go on. So if you would like to support, there'll be a link connected to the video. You can check out our website and follow us on Facebook and all the applicable social media. Please spread it around, as I do want to raise people's awareness, and I'm realizing now we have a pretty significant goal in mind, and so please share it and give what you can, and show up and give me a high five if you're in Utah. If you feel like struggling with me, you can come and run a little bit. But this is just going to be a passion project, and then we're gonna set the state on fire. It'll be awesome. So thank you guys.